Do you ever find yourself out in public? You know, when you're at a gym or you're at a birthday party or you're out with a partner for dinner or you're at a family event and you find yourself sucking your stomach in, tightening your abdominal wall in fear of judgment, in fear of what others will feel about your stomach being bloated or being distended. I feel like that. I've had this pattern going on since I was a child, and I've only started to recognize it maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago and started to do some heavy work on it. So today I want to speak about my experience with what's called hourglass syndrome or stomach gripping. I'd like to speak about how it affects the nervous system, the vagus nerve, the chakras. I'd like to speak about conditioning and why it is that we feel that way. And I'd like to speak about tribes and how they don't give a shit about any of that. And they're natural, primal, beautiful beings who don't body shame one another. And I'd like to give you a little breathwork exercise to do that will help activate the parasympathetic nervous system, as well as some affirmations and some mantras with regards to speaking love to our bodies and acceptance. And so let's start off with conditioning and why it is that we feel the need to hold our stomachs in while we're in public. So if you look back over the last 60, 70, 80 odd years since mass marketing and advertising came in, the internet and radio and movie stars, etc., consistently we're being shown and pushed towards idolizing characters within this existence of ours. You have your movie stars, you have your glamour models, you have what do they call them? Influencers now, etc. You've got the bodybuilding community, which I'm not against, by the way, if you are a bodybuilder. I actually follow a bodybuilder. He's a friend of mine, and I'm quite interested in the discipline side of it, and also just the beauty of that aesthetic. But I do also think it's extremely negative for our species to be that hyper focused on our bodies and feeling shamed and feeling guilty and feeling like we're being judged all of the time and feeling like we have to meet some sort of standards. And so it differs from male to female. Obviously, I'm a male. So speaking about my experience, growing up in the 90s, realistically, the icon of male back then was like Pierce Brosnan in 007 or Brad Pitt maybe, or someone like that. Pierce Brosnan is what I look like now. It's just dad bod, bit of hair, not much muscle definition. He was the one in the 90s, and all men wanted to look like that, and it has rapidly accelerated now. So following on from the 90s into the early 90s, you now have six packs everywhere. If every movie star has to be absolutely diced to the bone. If you look at modern society right now, most of the content being pushed at us in our algorithms is food, is muscles and bodybuilding and glamorous stuff from influencers, etc., etc. And there's a reason for that, and we'll get into that. But then from the female perspective, this goes back a long, long time. But it's so strange, you've got the heroin chic era of the late 90s, early 90s, where you had all of these glamour models that literally looked like they were on heroin. That's why they call it heroin chic. And this was what everyone was idolizing. You look at your magazines, everybody was being pushed towards this direction. Oh no, like you need to be stick thin in order to feel accepted within this reality. And yeah, we now have Ozempic, which is the next level of that. There was a little while there where we got in, no body shaming, that's great. And then all of a sudden they're like, nah, you know what, let's bring it back. Let's bring it back under a different pretense and call it not heroin chic, but Ozempic, So now you've got all of these celebrities on Ozempic, and it's being pushed as, oh my God, it's a savior drug. We can all be stick thin again. When in reality, I just don't think it's healthy for us to be hyper focused on our bodies that much and feeling ashamed of them. It's absolutely ridiculous the more you think about it. And I was exposed to this from a young age. I grew up in a family that had some weight issues, and I don't mean as in like anyone was overweight or whatever, but I think I grew up in a family, and this isn't just my family, but my descended family and my ancestors, there was some fear attached to weight, and that's a very normal thing. So don't take that as criticism, any of you watching this, because I also feel like that even to this day. You know, it's extremely difficult to navigate all of this conditioning. It really is, and even more so now because it's accelerated. It's gone to another level. A lot of these little young males are now on steroids and trying to just look absolutely ridiculous and jacked to appease people and to gather followings and so they can feel accepted. You know, it's not healthy, and it's pulling us away from what we really are. You know, we're these beautiful, cosmic, divine, infinite souls who are attached to the universe, and we need to be thinking externally just as much as we think internally. And yeah, we're too focused as a collective on our bodies, in my opinion. So I think the acceptance of the body is much more important, and yeah, the acceptance of everyone, and no shaming. You know, people are overweight, some people are very skinny, some people are naturally muscly. It's great, everybody's different, we all have different body types. It's fine, it's all good. Look at tribes, right? Let's get into tribes before we go anywhere else. Go look at some indigenous tribes after this video. Watch videos of tribes on beaches or in woods or wherever it is. You'll often find they're just wearing some homemade tribal kind of clothes. More often than not, they'll have their breasts exposed and penises exposed and arses exposed. And a lot of them have distended stomachs. A lot of them look like they have some fat around their bodies. Nobody's pointing and laughing. Nobody's looking at the breasts. Nobody's looking at the penises. Nobody's looking at the bellies. Nobody's looking at the ass. Everybody's just walking around accepting one another, because that's what we did for 99.9% of our existence here as a human being. We just accepted one another and we lived in community, and it was beautiful, and everybody was whatever way they wanted to be, and nobody laughed, and everybody still had partners and kids, and it was all good. And then 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago, we started to become conditioned by those who wanted to condition us to believe that we had to be a certain way and hold ourselves to certain standards, and on comes all of these body dysmorphic issues that we have now in this modern society that we absolutely do not need. And so let's talk about how the nervous system is affected by holding our stomachs in. First of all, let me give you an example of what that looks like. So I'm sure you've all done it, you know. You go to the gym, you go to a public setting. I'm on my knees now, so it's not going to be as dramatic. I should be standing, but the camera's just not in a correct place for that. So, you know, this is my stomach distended. It's out now. I'm taking in full breaths with it. But when I used to go around, I still do it to this day, but I'd be going around and you can see here, I have all of my abs tightened and I have my stomach and my diaphragm tightened so that you can't see that bloat. It's like, ooh, look at this. This is amazing. But check this out, right? Under a t-shirt, you can't see that. You can't see what's happening. It's all up here. It's a subconscious fear. It's conscious fear also. And so when that's happening, we are making ourselves short of breath. Like literally we're taking in about a third of the oxygen we should be when our bodies are sucked in like that. And so we're in a state of fight or flight mode, whether we like it or not. We're also reacting to the fear in our minds. I talk about this a lot, but you know, our bodies are designed in a way to enter fight or flight mode to keep us safe. And so you go back to primal days. I'm walking around a corner here and a wolf comes out behind the tree. My body immediately, boom, adrenaline fills, cortisol fills. I'm short of breath because I'm ready to run, man. I'm ready to run. And that's a safety mechanism, and that's how your body works. It's a great thing. But we're in a very comfortable position now. You know, we all have our food in our houses. Most of us. I do apologize if you don't. Most of us do. So like, I'm at home right now. I'm in my kitchen. I'm cooking a meal. I get a memory, or maybe it's a subconscious memory of someone calling me fat, which did happen quite a lot when I was younger. I had a couple of fat periods, overweight periods. Fat is not a nice word. I suppose it's a normal word. I don't know why I said that, but anyway, I was fat shamed. Also watching all these movies and things. So subconsciously I start to suck in my stomach. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of judgment. I'm afraid of being that way. And that's a subconscious thing. So the same reaction to the wolf, my body is having to my own thoughts now, which happens to us, right? And so I enter that same state of fight or flight mode, that I'm running from the wolf, but really the wolf is actually my own mind and my own subconscious and the experiences that I've had as a child all the way throughout my life that are dictating how I feel and how my nervous system is reacting to life. And so I'm now in a state of hyperarousal because my stomach is sucked in because I'm afraid of people shaming me, which is really sad. And if you're watching this and you're going through this, I can help. I can help. I can help because I'm helping myself, and it's a beautiful thing. I'm going off course here a little bit. The vagus nerve also is impeded by holding in the abs and the diaphragm, which further pushes us towards a state of anxiety and depression and panic. The vagus nerve is in charge of relaxing us. So once we can tune into it and allow it to flow, we will enter a state of relaxation, which we will be doing during our breathwork session in about 5 or 10 minutes. So as well as the nervous system being like that, in fight or flight mode and the vagus nerve being pinched, we also have our chakras. Now I'm not going to go too deep into this because I'm not a master by any means of any of these things by the way. So if you're watching this video and you have more information with regards to what I'm saying, please feel free to comment and contextualize what it is that I'm saying here, because, you know, I'm just sharing my own experience and what works for me. So you might have more information that could help others. The chakras that are affected by body shaming, feeling guilt and fear, and resentment and depression, especially in terms of our self-worth and our self-love and the security that we feel within our bodies. So your root chakra, if you feel insecure within your body, there's blockages already there in your root chakra. Your heart, self-love, if you don't feel that self-love, if you can't validate your own self-worth and self-love, then your heart will have blockages and you won't be able to feel grateful for your body. Your self-worth, your solar plexus, your authority, your confidence, your self-worth, affected again by this fear of judgment. I was just picking my belly button there because my solar plexus. Yeah, so these blockages, again, they cause so many different symptoms, and we get trapped in these cycles of fear then, and shame and depression and guilt with regards to our bodies. And so it is extremely important for us to recognize these things. And before I go into this breathwork session, I'd like to talk about pattern recognition, bringing ourselves back to the body, somatic work. So this pattern, that you're probably starting to make more sense of it now as I'm speaking, this pattern, entering a state of fight or flight mode subconsciously as a protective layer, as a protective tool from those experiences of being fat shamed or watching glamour models or movies, etc. Not feeling like we are worthy because we have normal bloat. This pattern, once we start to recognize it, we can then start to alter it and start to correct it, which is amazing. It's beautiful how the neurons work within our brains. And so if I was you and I was taking something from this video, I would wake up in the morning and I would, within the first half an hour or so, start to do some mobility work, some stretching, some yoga. You don't have to be a master at it. Anything you can do. Lie on the ground and just stretch around like you're a child. Get intuitive with it. That's what I like to do sometimes. You know, you don't need to be this, every posture has to be perfect, every pose has to be perfect. Just intuitively move. It's healthy for you just to move around and breathe while you're doing it. But while you're doing that, bring yourself to your body. Every single cell within your body, every part of your body. Notice where there's any pain or discomfort or stress or tension. Because when we start to notice these things, we can start to breathe into them. We can start to learn how to stretch them. If you don't know a stretch or how to stretch a certain area, you go and research and you'll find out. I follow some beautiful movement pages. Most certainly, in this case, we bring ourselves to our stomach. We allow our stomachs to be distended because they're beautiful, just like those tribal people I was speaking about. We allow them to be distended. It's okay. We don't have to suck them in. We're alone now. We don't have to suck them in when we're not alone. But I'm just trying to help you to start that pattern off. And the reason why I say to do this first 30 minutes or so of the day is because the earlier you can get to this, the quicker you can start to develop that pattern early in the day, which will then help you to be consistent with it throughout the day and not forget. Because for me, in the past, I'll be like 5 or 6 hours into the day and I'll realize I've been sucking my stomach in for the whole thing, and I'm in fight or flight mode, and I'm filled with adrenaline, and I'm freaking out, and my brain is going like a 90. And so then I started, oh my God, I better do some stretching. But, at that point, there's been so much cortisol and adrenaline in your system that you're going to have a crash anyway. And the whole day is absolutely upside down, and you're exhausted. And this is what happens when we're in a state of panic, as I know all too well. So yeah, hopefully this helps. And so as we start to build that mind-body connection, that mind-soul connection, that mind-muscle connection, and start to become aware of it, it becomes easier for us to recognize this pattern then throughout the day, because we'll continuously bring ourselves back, which is what you need to do. Also, I think it is important for us to speak to our bodies, to give ourselves some support verbally and mentally. But verbally will help us to activate that mentally. And that will come in the form of affirmations or mantras. I like to use many different phrases, and I would never tell you to do anything. So if you're going to, I would intuitively come up with your own. But I like to say things like, I'm starting to recognize my body. I'm starting to connect my body. My body is beautiful. My body is safe. I love my body. I love myself, etc., etc., etc. I'll say as many things as I can during these sessions, It's self-soothing. It helps. It just benefits that connection, that pattern. It helps with being grateful for yourself. It helps to allow these chakras to start to open up, because you should feel it when you're saying it. But if you don't, keep saying it until you do feel it, because you're beautiful. And that's a part of what this whole pattern recognition thing is. It's trying to bring you back to your body, to try to dissolve the fear and the shame of who you are. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You do not need to fear what other people judge towards you. You don't need to feel any fear or feel like you need to be in any certain way. You just need to accept who you are and try to dissolve all of that conditioning that has been forced upon you since you were a child, and recognize that you are a beautiful, cosmic, intuitive being that is also a primal being, that is a part of this planet, that is who he or she is. And it's okay to be whatever way you are. You don't need to be afraid of how others judge you. And if you stop judging others, you'll forget that they're judging you. And I believe if we all started to do this, we wouldn't judge each other. We'd accept each other. Kind of like those tribes I was telling you about at the start of the episode. So anyway, I've been speaking for a long time. So let me give you some breathwork practice that will help you, because it has helped me over and over and over again. And it was given to me by a beautiful woman when I was in my early 20s. She recognized that I was in a state of fear and anxiety and panic and self-depreciation or self-deprecating thoughts came to me. Asked me, did I know anything about breathwork? I said, yes, I do. I didn't really. I watched a bit of Wim Hof, some holotropic stuff. Didn't recognize that a lot of the breathwork that has been posed on the internet, it's beautiful and I love it. But we have all different types of breathwork, and a lot of those really fast, intense breathworks, the idea of those is to breathe life force and energy within you, which is amazing if that's what you need. But if you're already in a state of hyper-arousal and you're in fear, if you start to breathe like that intensely, you're literally just going to hyper-arouse yourself even more, and it's going to become a difficult state to be in. And I know that from experience. And so this beautiful lady explained that to me, and then she gave me an exercise, a breathwork exercise that would mimic crying, releasing oxytocin, releasing endorphins throughout the body, allowing your body to enter a parasympathetic state as you would post-crying. And it's absolutely amazing, and it's easy, and it's basic. So I'm going to show you that right now. And if you're still here, I'm really happy that you've gotten this far. So do feel free to subscribe, and we're just getting started with this community. It's a beautiful thing. So this breath work, we're going to be taking in one large breath through the mouth, through the nose, whichever you prefer. I think in this particular breath, I'm going to do it within the mouth, because you can take in a lot longer, slower breath through the mouth, I feel. And then at the top of that breath, you'll take in 3, 4, 5 small little breaths, as you would when you're crying, you know that? So we're trying to mimic that. We'll hold for 3 or 4 seconds. 3, I like the number 3. And then we'll breathe out consciously, as slow as we possibly can. And this could take 20, 30 seconds. It's like leaving a balloon go as slow as you can in your lungs. The reason we're doing that is to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the state of relaxation that we so dearly seek. And while I'm breathing in, sometimes I like to say out loud, or in my head in this particular case, I'm breathing in love, I'm breathing in light, I'm breathing in life force into my stomach right now, because that's what we're focused on. And when I'm breathing out this fear, I'm breathing out this shame, I'm breathing out this resentment and these traumatic experiences, and I'm converting them into love, and I'm trying to breathe them out back, gifting them to the universe, transmuted into loving light, and it feels nice. So I'll do one. I'll see how long that is, because I don't want this video to be too long. So I'll play some really nice music behind me as well, all the traditional music. Do you know what? We'll do 3. Let's do 3. 3 lovely big long breaths. So remember, we're taking in a long breath, we're having the cry breaths, we're holding for 3, and then we're breathing out very slowly. And you'll notice even after the first one, you're activating the parasympathetic state really quickly. You'll feel like you're on some sort of nature Xanax. And I would know. Yeah, and don't get me wrong when I say 3. I will do this for 30 minutes. I'll do this for an hour. I'll do it for an hour and a half sometimes. You'll be absolutely amazed as to what will happen within that experience. So if you're watching this and you're doing these, I would implore you to practice this daily, as long as you want, for a good couple of months if you're in like a state of constant fight or flight mode. It's just medicine, it's just healing, and it's absolutely incredible. So let's start. You see what I mean? If you've just followed along there, like that's just one breath, one round of it, and I'm already in a very tranquil state. Everything around me is very psychedelic. I'm feeling extremely calm. So let's do 2 more and I'll finish up this video then. Okay, you ready? So I could breathe out a lot longer than that. And if you can, as slow as you can, but this is a video format, so I don't want to. But I hope you're enjoying this if you are actively involved here, because it's amazing. Okay, and one more. So this time we're taking in a really big one. We're going to take in a big breath, taking in that love, we're taking in that life force, taking in the light. And we're breathing out this trapped energy within our chakras, within our nervous system, this fear, this shame. We're breathing it out. We're allowing ourselves to become aware of these memories that are trapped within us, that are making us enter a fight or flight mode. I have some memories of being fat shamed, so be aware what's coming up while you're doing any of these stretches or breath work or walking or wherever it is that you are, because you're connecting to the body now, you're connecting to the mind. So just be aware of what it is that's flowing in and out of you and what it is that's causing you to enter these states, these protective layers. We'll go into it deeper as we go along, not in this episode. So one more before we go. Wow, I feel like I'm sitting on a cloud. So yeah, I hope all of this information and this exercise has helped you in some way, shape or form. It has helped me dramatically over the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months that I've been trying to work on this pattern. And I'm at the point now where generally my stomach is just out and about. My abdominal muscles have brought themselves back to a regular state. I used to have cramping in the beginning when I stopped tightening. So if you do experience anything like that, just know that gradually everything will bring itself back to where it should. Before I go, I just wanted to let you know that I absolutely love you and I'm so happy that you're still here. And if you've not subscribed already, feel free to. We're building a beautiful community here. And if you've never watched a symbiotic vibration video before, the reason why I'm building this community is because I had a brain tumor when I was younger and I felt very isolated. So I'm trying to band together a community of souls who want to help one another, who want to feel seen, who want to feel safe. And right now I'm sharing my journey and my experience, but as the following grows, I plan to do some live stream interviews, some in the physical interviews and some podcasts, and try to get information from as many of you beautiful people, anyone else that wants to share their own story that might not necessarily want to be a content creator. And the idea is to create a massive blueprint of information that might help others walk their journeys through suffering or life. It's a beautiful concept and I'm just so happy and grateful that you're all here. So thank you. And I hope that you feel safer within your body today and feel like you are not being judged, because you're beautiful, you're amazing. And yeah, day by day, breath by breath, breath by breath, recognition by recognition, pattern by pattern, we're going to build a beautiful world here. And that's what symbiotic vibration is all about. So I'm going to go and enjoy some sun now and relax after that beautiful breath. I love you. I'll see you all next time.